Good evening everyone, welcome back to another music production live stream with me, Human Synthetics. I hope you're well. I usually stream on a Wednesday, but I've had to bring it a day forward this week. It's Tuesday today. Usually it's every Wednesday. 4 weeks on, then a week off. But yeah, sometimes life happens and you have to juggle things about a bit, which, yeah, happens a lot. So I know this is not the usual day for most people, so we'll see who's online this evening, but it's not going to stop me from making some tunes, working on music. I don't really have a plan this evening. Rarely do have a plan. I prefer to just kind of go live and see what happens. Yeah, we're looking good. Okay, before we get started, I just want to shout out my patrons and do a little roll call for the newest sign-ups on Patreon. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon and getting access to my Patreon feed with lots of downloads, check out the links in the description or wherever you're watching this. I actually shared the latest version of my live set on there today, along with the little wobble bass rack that I was using on stream when I was adding some new sections in the week before last. So yeah, if you're interested in that, go and check it out. But let's give a shout out to the newest names on the list, and they are JP and Harfo, and I think Alejandro as well. So thank you very much for pledging and supporting on Patreon. Really appreciate all of my patrons and supporters, especially the ones who've stuck around for so long now. Some names on the list going back a couple of years now. Really appreciate your long-standing support, guys. Hey Stubborn, how are you doing? Good to see you back in the mix. So yeah, shout out on my patrons, thanks very much. Links in the description if you're interested. So I've got my Trello board open, I've got all my works in progress. Lots of things to choose from. Maybe we'll just do a bit of housekeeping tonight, just listen to some demos of things as they stand, and anything that jumps out I think I'll probably try and work on. There's a lot of tracks and stuff that I'm seeing here that I'm thinking that's been hanging around for a long time now, and I don't think I even have the motivation to open it back up again and do anything else on it. I'm looking particularly at these guys here. These are some old tunes now, back to 2024, 2023. That remix is getting a release, so yeah, more on that to come soon. Remix of a tune by a producer called Akuratide, who runs the label Modern Conveniences from California. Remixed one of his tunes, Back to You, for a new album he's got coming out. Roger. I guess you could say I do dabble in stuff like that. Yeah, I do occasionally do more chill step kind of things. Chill step, wave, funk. More on the chilled side, down tempo stuff. Last week I was working on something that you could probably categorize in that camp. A tune called Why. I mean, maybe we'll work on that this evening, because I've given that a listen since, and I think it's close to being done. But I don't have any specific tutorials for something like that, but... And have I watched any? I mean, I like some of those like hacker chill step mixes, and I usually listen to those when I'm at work. And I mean, they've kind of got like burial flavors to me, a lot of that stuff. And yeah, really kind of the most relevant stuff would be in streams, any of like the wave or funk streams. Of late, I might have done some stuff in previous years actually around that, but nothing specifically tutorial based. And I probably couldn't recommend any off the top of my head. That'd be a good question for Discord maybe, and my Discord is linked in the video description. Okay, yeah. So quite a few of those ones that I've worked on lately, the funk tunes, the wave tunes, you could probably, they verge on that kind of thing, on the chill step side of things. And I don't know if I've started any of those on stream. That's probably the best place to start, is where I first work on the idea. That's probably when I get down like a lot of the stuff. Maybe I'll work on something a bit more chilled this evening, because I've got a lot of stuff at like 120-ish tempo. Yeah, check out the wave ones. Anything that's I've put wave or funk in the title. They are just a full live stream. But there's probably some good stuff in there. I don't know if I talk too much about like the specifics of the notes I'm playing and stuff, but maybe just watching what I do could be useful. Yeah, wave, funk. I probably do some down tempo stuff. There might be anything that's got chill in the title on my on my channel, but then I do make stuff that's like chill, faster tempo. But I'm glad to hear that people are kind of, it's resonating a little bit, because I make a lot of different electronic music, and I'm slightly wary that people come for a certain thing, or that's how things happen. You get known for doing something, I suppose, and then it can be quite nerve-wracking trying new things, because you don't want to turn people off from what you're doing. But I need to write a lot of different music, because otherwise I just get bored. And I find that it's good to write lots of different genres and experiment all the time, because it keeps the creative process fresh, keeps the juices flowing. So let's give a listen to some of these tunes. I'm going to start in the Discover column, which is kind of things that have been, maybe I want to work on a bit more, or just explore the idea a bit more before I kind of get a concrete draft down. Or maybe we will move some things about as well as we deem them to be a bit more progressed. So I'm going to skip over these first few, because I've worked on these in the last few days, or I've done some stuff on them. So, or maybe I might skim through some of these as well. I won't listen to the whole thing, just because I can probably remember the last session I worked on it. And I used to do this more on stream, but I kind of stopped doing it, just because you can easily spend 45 minutes just listening to demos and stuff, and I like to kind of get into the juicy stuff as quick as possible. Oh, Roger, yeah. Well, good to have you. Welcome. Yeah, Discord needs a bit of work, but I am aware of that, and as soon as I have a free day or something, I'm going to sit down and just sort out some of the channels and stuff in there. There are people active on there, and there's a good producer who's in like the circle called RJ McCready, and he definitely does like chill steppy stuff occasionally, and he might be a good person to hit up, and I think that is his handle in Discord actually, at RJ McCready. But yeah, if you just search on my channel, chill, wave, funk, halftime, down tempo, you might find some older streams. Dungeon Synth is one that occasionally gets brought back up, and I did like one stream on that, and it was actually pretty well. It's been pretty well viewed since then. So maybe Dungeon Synth again at some point. Right, let's go for this. So on a cold day, that was a splurge that I didn't move on, and I've diaried it on actually. You see that? I obviously listened to the other day, and I've put a diary note for a month's time. Fair enough. That's on the shelf for now. Let's check out this initialized. That's a more chill one. So I would have moved it over from my splurges or like my sketches. We'll find it in here. Initialized 2507. So I did this back in July. Time flies. So I'm always working on this stuff, always like have fits and starts of just sketching a load of tunes. So I've kind of got raw material to work with as time goes on. And it's probably coming up to another, I need to kind of fill this up again a bit with some raw ideas. So okay, initialize. Let's give this a listen, see if there's any potential here. If not, we'll skip over and we'll keep going until we find something to work on. This is quite chill steppy. Hey, Mr. Cruz. Was that it? What happened there? Definitely. Need some Metal Gear Solid snares, bullet snares. I'm going to skip it on. Yeah, it's definitely got like a burial flavour, and okay, it's a potential. I feel like if I was going to work on that, it's a very raw idea, really. We just got kind of a bass line and the drums are pretty interesting, and it's quite nice that pedal note arpeggio type thing. That's quite interesting. Could have legs on that. We'll see. Okay, we'll carry on. That was initialized. Then we got this one, Broken Light. So I obviously went through. I've created these on the same day. I must have had a creative fit. Broken Light. I think some of these have probably got potential from memory. Okay, yeah, I wanted to work on this last time. I'm just going to check that I haven't... Broken Light, yeah, okay. I think this could be the one to work on. Russell, I don't know if you got my... sorry for doxing you, Mr. Grooves. I don't think you... I don't know if you got my email I just sent about Single Cell Orchestra, but really enjoyed that recommendation so far. Thank you. I think this could be one. I think that could be a goer. Let's give that one a go. That's What else we got? Execute. Should we just listen to just Broken Light? This one is. 20. So just I want to check. Broken Light is in here. I can't understand the vocal either. Do you know what I think I did there? And it sounds like a bit of a mess. Is that I probably just found some rap a cappella on my hard drive and just stuck it in. And bits of it, I definitely chopped up little bits of it and then just like placed those throughout. And then the rest of it, I think I just let it play out, just hear if any of it worked. But I don't know if it did, or it certainly needs a bit of certainly needs some tightening. So actually, I think it would be interesting to see if anyone can figure out my inspiration for this tune. It's quite literal. I've got. Let's just crack on this one. Yeah. This would be good to move some of these on because I haven't worked on any of these ones in the middle. Yeah, I was listening back to Why in the car, you know, the one we worked on last week, and just like some of the bits of ear candy we added in and the things you were suggesting, Mr. Grooves, and yeah, it sounds pretty good. Okay, so this is Broken Light. Let's make some notes on this before we jump in, and I could tell you what I want to do with this, right? I really kind of like this, like the I like the beat, the chord progression. I like the way it kind of changes. It's almost got like chorus sections or kind of different sections. I don't like the lead synth, the kind of envelope. I don't like the envelope on that. I want something really basic, almost just like a sine tone, really, something really quite pure with some reverb. So, chord arpeggio. It's kind of an arpeggio, isn't it? / melody. I like the trancey section. I kind of like that bit, and then I like the Boards of Canada kind of synth that comes in occasionally as well. I think the whole thing could be condensed down a little bit. It's a bit too long, so we'll just experiment with taking some sections out. If you watched any of my stuff before, I make all these quite elaborate notes sometimes, and then I usually end up doing like one thing. But I think it's important to have a bit of a game plan before you jump in. Otherwise, you end up just starting at the beginning, and the intro is really good, or like one section of the song is really great, but the overall thing is a bit bewildering. So I want to experiment with a pad. Yeah, add a pad. I feel like a lot of these tunes, similar things that I've worked on, you know, they're often just it may be in need of some kind of vocal or some kind of sample. I really like that kind of thing. I really like just like a human thing to tie it together sometimes. As much as I like instrumental music or some particular sample or something that just kind of, I feel like I don't struggle to write stuff with programmed drums and synth parts and stuff like that, and then just something to, I don't quite know what I'm getting at, but like sometimes it feels like it's easy to write these structures almost, but they need just like an extra touch or some je ne sais quoi that you get from a sample sometimes or something like that, and those can sometimes be unicorns in that you don't always find what you think you want. Use the vocal as a percussive element, sequence out some syllables like the rap vocal. So we'll dig into the rap vocal a bit more. A bit more. But I kind of like these liminal tunes where they're essentially just like a melody and a respace. And that's it, and just some really nice chords. I kind of like the drum. Nothing was jumping out with the drums and stuff. Let's pull that down a bit. Right. It's a discover session though, so we can kind of like... We'll just see what happens. We can experiment still. 24, okay. Right, so the first thing I want to do is experiment with some of those synth parts. And I think it's on this serum. Yeah, but some bass switch ups could be cool, couldn't they? I'll put that 808 in. I wouldn't mind some more textural, like tearing basses, textural kind of neuro stuff. Alright, that's enough to get on with anyway, certainly. So I'm going to duplicate this and we'll just try it on some other... I really just want something super basic here. So it really sounds like Shape of My Heart by Sting. This is what it keeps reminding me of. Okay, fine. Keep going. I'll just stick with Serum for now. I like the... I want the sampler. It's got some pretty nice, like, keyboard sounds. You got... Sure, it's got like a road somewhere. Yeah, like more towards that, to be honest. I swear they had a... maybe it's like multi-sample. They got like a Rhodes. If not, I'll just switch this up. That's a bit better. I'm just going to keep trying. I'm just going to duplicate this out. Right, so there was one... There's like a contact instrument. Is it contact? Or yeah, I think it is contact. Like the air piano or not called that, it's called something else. God, I'm not very good with these. I never know how to load something different. Is it Play Series? This is it. And is it Hybrid Keys? That's it. This one. Okay, I might just like do my own on Operator as well. Good question. Aren't they fine now? That could be the one. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm after. Let's copy this from. Mr. Grooves 100% agree. They definitely could. Like Reaktor could certainly just do with like a revamp. My girlfriend has had the PlayStation 2 plugged in, her old PlayStation 2. We've been playing Abe's Exodus, and the graphics in that kind of remind me of opening up Reaktor sometimes. Are you a machine user, Future World Machines? I feel like this is better. We're in the ballpark here with this one. That's definitely more what I want. Very 90s. The velocity at the moment is a bit high, to be honest. As in, like, the responsiveness to it, I kind of just want the same thing. This is nice. This is much more. A side change at the moment. do something with like the LFO and sample and hold, have it on retrigger, and just do something with the volume of oscillator C, that might be cool. Some of this as well, just second echo. We could maybe make this like ping pong and do some stuff with like ducking. I like doing the filter as well. Chiastic slide. Now I remember you mentioning that. Wasn't that like for changing between states? Did you send me a link? Did you link me up with that? Maybe. That's a bit better. Just group these and we'll just keep them here. Spare key sounds. Mr. Groove, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Mr. Grooves, 1 sec. I'm just going to open up. I have a Google Keep Notes where I keep all. I've started a list now of things that I get recommended or people send me for plugins and stuff like that, because I easily lose track So I'm just gonna put this in. What's it called? Chiastic slide plugin. I'll look that up. There's a vocal synth by Void and Vista called Folds. I don't know if anyone's tried that out, or Emergence Audio, Soprano Textures. I saw State Azure using that. Sounded really, really nice. Don't know if anyone's used that, either of those or any of those. Void and Vista Folds. You can go away. So a lot of tunes, a lot of these funky chill step tunes just start with the bass. What did you try this morning, Wagon? Sorry, my thing is a bit glitchy. I've got my sample rate quite low. That could be where it's from, no? We are going to use the... Okay, that's 100% anyway. Bit massive, that reverb. You produce it now then. Don't like that beepy noise, cowbell. That's quite nice. Let's experiment with some drums, yeah. Really, beat shake. I'm a beat shake guy. Love these beat shake packs. Yeah, let's just add some. Try some different drum sounds. These are analog, beat shake analog. Like the way I produce, I use drum racks a lot, and I kind of mix and match stuff from a lot of them, you know. It's quite nice. let's develop this beat a little bit, shall we? Nice. Okay. All right, and this one too. What else is this doing? Okay, so something else is doing that sound. That's nice. It really is kind of like, let's just label these up. I'll put these ones in. These are just layering the same sounds. If anything, I probably want this, not a duplicate of this beat shake thing. You could maybe just call this lazy producing, but like, you know, that's a nice kick. These are cool. I love these beat shape packs. They're sick. That kick is kind of better than that one. Or kind of better than this kick, maybe? With this kick here. So that, like, what's providing the swing is just like some drum loop. Have I done any swing on it? Have I just left it as it is? Sometimes I like just quantize the swing or quantize the drums to some swing. Yeah, that's cool. Vibing with that. Right, I'm just gonna... I haven't used Lunaris for a while, but here we go, look at this nice interface. Let's init Lunaris and then let's just find maybe some nice soundscaping pads of some sort. I don't know. Yeah, rocking it at 124 today. What were we 126 last week? We're just layering up some stuff on this one. I'm just going to add this in here. Doesn't it? We've got kind of a... I had a friend in high school whose mother believed listening to music faster than the resting human heart rate was unhealthy. Very weird lady. I would say that the speed of my thought sometimes goes about 180. I think that's why I've always liked kind of complex, fast music, or like really technical music. I think it kind of fits my way of thinking sometimes. But then I also really love like slower ambient stuff too. There's something just very satisfying about fast stuff. All right, so we've got some like chord changes that I think I just need to figure out where they're happening. We've kind of got like because it's all being driven by the bass line here. Okay, very nice. Just ignore the other sounds. Got a chorus idea here. Okay, then we're back to like the verse. Like that pad's really working. Chorus idea. This world needs a hero. MPK Mini 4. Is that the keyboard? Or am I thinking of different thing? I am thinking about getting a better keyboard. I would love my full scale 88 key weighted keyboard in here if I could have that. And I think the problem with that is I need a special desk. I need a special desk with a keyboard drawer that I could pull out, or some way. The way I work with my mouse pad on the trackpad and stuff, I mean, I'm sure I could change my working method. But I do write a lot of stuff with just a MIDI keyboard. And that is kind of like the way I like to do it. I just like working that way. And I'd love to be able to play something bigger and more responsive you know, that I could have in front of me. But I think I'd need a keyboard tray and something that's going to be, it has to be comfortable, it has to work. And I suppose the good thing about my setup at the moment is that it's not too permanent. If I did want to change it, I can easily. But like the more stuff, like the more rigid your kind of setup becomes, like the more you've got to be certain in advance of what you're going to be doing, or at least have room to change and change things if you need to, which I don't really have. Me too, Mr. Grooves. This is pretty new. This is an Innovation launch key, isn't it? Or something. Or Complete Control M32. But I would like 49 keys. I want a weighted keyboard in front of me. Just here, right? And then I can work on, you can't hear it, you can't see it, but like just here. I can have the keyboard here, and then I've got my computer here. A standing desk with a keyboard thing, with a keyboard drawer, that would be like the dream. Okay. Here we go. The synth. Is it this bit? Totally, innit? Totally. It's like bandpass kind of flute synth. Analog crispy cotton. Where's this from? Just a factory one. Got quite a lot of envelope on it. Got something for that. Man, I get lost with all the plugins. There's too many. Too many plugins. That isn't what I wanted, but that is pretty cool. Tape Mellify. Oh no. It is registered. Okay. Yeah, I definitely do have it. For that reason, that's why plugins kind of do my head in sometimes. I love them, but for that, every time you open it, it's like, oh, it needs to be updated, it needs to be refreshed or whatever. Let's call this plugin actually Soft Tube. I've not tried this humanize feeling. Very nice, that's cool. Let's develop these drums a little bit. The one thing I don't like is the hi-hats don't choke. Let's do some velocity on these guys, yeah. Silver Stag on Twitch. Thank you very nice. Thank you very nice. Thank you very much. I'm glad they're sounding so nice. So I guess you could say I'm relying quite heavily on some good presets here, really. But then also I think drum programming definitely comes into it. I have various different layers on different drum rack kits here. At the moment, we're just in these sounds, which is it's a pack by Beat Shake. Which you can see here. This is I talk about these drums quite a lot because I use them a lot and they are really, really good. But they're 510K sounds, Beat Shake, analog, and you can get these on Isotonic Studios. And basically they allow you to just program a pattern in, and then you can kind of quite easily just hit this shake button. You can hit the shake for the different drum elements as well, and it will switch out the sounds. Of course, there's also just a loop going on, which is quite key. as well, and that's probably making things sound a bit more textural. And the loop's quite swung, but the drums are quite they're rigid. And this is just some kind of loop that I've got, some garage drum loop that I have. It's warp, it's beat modes, and I've used this kind of transient trick to just reduce the transient envelope for each of the sounds, so it makes it really kind of tight. Have I pitched it around? Yeah, I've pitched it up 4 semitones as well, which kind of changes the timbre quite a lot. And there's also some reverb going on, which is from the Soundtoys Super Plate reverb, and that probably gives a lot more space, gives a lot more kind of spatial feel to the drums. I mean, I kind of like that beepy sound now, but I don't want it all the time. This could be our main kick here, yeah. Silver Stag, 100%. Yeah, that's it. I'd say that's exactly it. Like, I don't like all my drums really swung. I like it when things are quite rigid, and then you introduce I'd rather the element come from like something else that kind of creates the groove in the pocket from it, really. But then also I just love the sound of like really tight quantization on things, and you naturally get a bit of I don't know, you just naturally get a bit of like rhythm and everything from all the parts together, whatever things are playing. The reverb's key here as well, because these drums have got some reverb going on, but like the others haven't. Nice. Silver Stag, thank you. Can't say I know, Todd Baker. What games have they done? But I love all that stuff. I find game music as inspirational as like any other type of as any other music I consume. We were talking about Abe's Exodus, which my girlfriend's been playing, and which was a game I really enjoyed when I was about 11 or something, when I first got PlayStation, and the sound design on those old games is just lovely. One of my favourite game music games, the music from a game, was probably a little one called Machinarium. I don't know if anyone's played that, where you're like a little robot. It's like a little robot puzzle game. Beautiful music in that. Nice one, Silver Stag, thanks. The Pilgrims 2119. How do you mix without any frequency masking? I feel like that's a bit of a can of worms. And honestly, I don't worry about it. It definitely does concern me sometimes where I'm like, oh, things sound a bit sludgy. But for me, I guess I think all that stuff comes from the tune itself, or a lot is the tune itself. You know, it's the composition, it's the playing, it's how all the sounds kind of work together. And I think if you've got a good tune where all your sounds are working together and it's been put together in a way that's, you know, allows the music to deliver on what its intention is in the best way it can for a given tune, then I think that starts from like ground zero, from day one. And you know, when you got to the end of like making a tune or something, it's like either it works or it doesn't. Operand, I knew someone would have heard of that one. It was good, wasn't it? Did you play it on? I played it on iPad, but sick. Will do. What are you playing? That is that like PC game? But the Pilgrims, I'm guessing you're asking that, like honestly asking that question, how you mix without any frequency master, like literally, I guess advice for maybe something you're coming up against. I mean, the way I would, if you find you're experiencing that in a track or something, where your lots of your sounds are clashing together, then really there is a kind of limited choice of options as to what you can do to give each of the sounds more space. I mean, the most simple choice is to just have one of the sound. If you've got sounds that are clashing frequency wise, or they're taking up the same space, then see if you can compositionally arrange it such that the sounds aren't happening at the same time. You know, you can have one section with one sound and then one section with the other sound. Of course, you can EQ things, but really that depends on the sound you've got. You know, if you've got like a kick and you've got a bass and they're taking up similar space, then I think that most of us know the options as to how you might deal with that. But really, I like to try and choose sounds that work together. If I'm finding they're clashing or they're just not working together, I don't proceed with that musical choice. But that's not to say I haven't been in exactly the same position where I've got further down the end of the tune, well, with a tune, and been like, actually, I think this isn't working because it's not a good tune, and I could write better music. But EQ, side chaining, mixing in mono is one thing people suggest, and I've definitely done that in the past, and that can really help kind of expose where things might be clashing frequency wise. But really, I try to think, if you're experiencing this in your music and you're noticing it and you want to get better at dealing with it, then go back to the drawing board, start something new, and kind of be mindful that you're coming up against that wall later on in the process, and really try and deal with it at the root, and look at composition and arrangement and stuff, and choosing sounds that work together from day one. Operand. Yeah, sound. I'll Thimbleweed Park. I've got my little suggestion box open here on the other screen. Thimbleweed Park. I don't really play games, but my partner does, and I quite like watching her play them, or other people. . So true. Absolutely agree. The best tunes, certainly like some of my most popular tunes, I or ones that just have worked and that people have really vibed with. I've not done anything to them. I just made it and kind of tweak levels a bit as I went along. But then I think I understand now. Silver Stag. I'll get back to your question in a sec. I'm just about production. But yeah, like I feel that I understand like the mix as you go thing now, because I definitely don't mix as I go. I don't really like EQ, or I might stick an EQ on and do all that do very quick stuff just to get things working. And if I really want the drums to sound compressed or something, I'll probably do that. And I like to bring in reverbs and stuff pretty early on, which I know I like doing that because I've got maxed out on my return channels. But I kind of get mixing as you go now, and a lot of the time I get to the end of a process writing a tune, and I've kind of dealt with all the stuff either through writing or like changing sections and stuff, making things work together well musically, rather than trying to deal with them, make them fit through processing. I think that is the thing. It comes down to making stuff work musically first, and then using the processing to enhance something that's already musically working. Because one analogy or one comparison or case study maybe is that you could go and see an orchestra, right? You can go and see an orchestra of how many instruments. And there's no EQ, there's no compression, there's no live sound, there's no amplification. You're just hearing the balance of the instruments across the frequency spectrum, and it sounds amazing. And that is down to good players, good music, whatever, regardless of what your thoughts on classical music or whatever. But just as a kind of an example, or I don't know, a folk musician or a vocal ensemble or something like this, where there's no electronic processing going on at any point, and it doesn't need it. And if there was, then its best use would be just to enhance what you're already experiencing, just capture the sound in the best way possible. And I think that's the way really to approach music, is that although you could do a lot of mad things with computers and processing, and that's really fun, and we do a lot of that here, you can also, it's also how you choose to put those sounds together that makes the biggest difference of mixing. If you've got, it's like superpositions of waves, isn't it? If you've got two sounds that work together and they're constructive in the way their waves, their sound waves sit together, then it's going to sound fuller, louder. It's going to sound more impactful than if something isn't quite working, and it's going to be, you're going to get phase cancellation, or just as one tiny area of this. But yeah, if it's working musically, chances are it's going to work mix wise. Charlie O'Brown, good question. Just go back to Silver Stag. I've been making. So I started off as a guitar player when I was about 9. I started learning guitar very early on. I wasn't particularly interested in it then. I like the idea of learning it, but then actually practicing was quite hard work. And so it all kind of started there, and then I was in bands a bit later on, and played in bands really as a live musician for a long time. And then, but always liked electronic music, always liked clubbing, always liked all of that stuff from as early as I can remember. And then when I left the band I was in, about 28, my good friend and bandmate kind of lent me some money to get a laptop and kind of get set up with with producing. And really that was it. So it's been 10 years, 12 years now that I've been kind of doing it, and probably quite seriously really from after, when I got back to it after my kids had been born and stuff, when I was about 30. So I've been writing music most of my life, but producing probably for the last 12 years. Not always consistently, but certainly more consistently the last 6 or 7 years. Really, really pushed it. Thanks for the game recommendation. Charlie O'Brown, what do you use in the master bus? Any plugin that you use or recommend? So I've got a few that I use all the time. Why have I put a clipper on this? That's interesting. So ignore this. So I could, the ones that come to mind, I use like just Ableton Stock EQ. Ook Sound Soothe, I usually put that first, and I really do like that. That really is nice for, that really is a nice plugin. I will also use Soundtoys CQ8, is it called, or is it just CQ? Just CQ. EQ wise, I wouldn't mind a nicer EQ, but EQ8 does a pretty good job. I also like this Max for Live device that's by a friend, and he's a brilliant developer, Max developer and UI developer, and it's called Curves, and I use this all the time on my master bus, which is just a fixed band kind of based on a Paultec EQ. Really love this. It's a Max for Live EQ. I occasionally toy with the idea of getting FabFilter, but I the last few releases I've had, I've not had to master anything myself for a while, which has been nice. So I've decided not to invest in any of that stuff. But I do use that. I do also really love the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. I love that. I love the Universal Audio Oxide Tape Recorder. That's another one. I tend to just go like EQ, compression, saturation, and then some kind of tape, and then clipping and limiter. DJ Emo, yeah, that's a great suggestion. I've used that before. It's sick. It's sick on drums, actually. Yeah, Shadow Hills. We're talking about the same one. This one. I can never remember what the I wish they just had the names sequentially. I wouldn't have to. This one, yeah. It looks bewildering, but actually, when you get your head around it, it does make sense. Red light is cleaner, is it? It's got these like distortion mode, or like, I don't know, they like transistor modes here, which definitely add something like that. But yeah, I really do like that. I really like what it does, and the fact you've got the optical and the discrete. I like also the black box. I think everyone uses this, don't they? Everyone's got this. Great questions, chat. Really, I just go to, was it Pilgrims? What do I use to get a flat frequency response? Well, do you mean? I would say, do you actually want a flat frequency response? You probably don't. But I think I know what you're getting at, and that is like if any areas of the mix are a bit unruly or something. one thing I think people will overlook a lot in that kind of thing is just the volume of stuff together. Volume and panning. Obviously, like, panning doesn't make a difference always if you're on depending on which sound system you're experiencing in. But I think producers can get caught up a lot in this very technical stuff when actually they just need to finish some tunes and have someone else experience them. And chances are, if you're getting your music played by DJs in clubs, for instance, just one way that people might experience it, if it's a good tune, no one's going to care about how you made it. It's just, how it works, how it moves people, isn't it, really? But definitely, volume is where I will look to fix things first off with a fader move. And if there's kind of a really unruly area of the mix, but then it's really subjective, and like, I always think it's a good demonstration when you listen to music that's been purposefully produced in a certain way, so it is, I don't know, lo-fi, or it's got look out for those things that sometimes, music isn't always smooth, and it doesn't diminish it in any way for it, But occasionally I'll look at the spectrum and stuff just to how it compares against other people's other tunes, or from memory, really. I won't do like A/B comparisons because I just, don't. I used to do that, but I don't really do that anymore. Because it slows everything down. You end up with more questions than you started with, and it's better to just go with your ear, make as many tunes as possible, listen to them on as many sound systems as you can, as well as other people's tunes, and be kind of critical of what you're listening to, and try and learn from what you're hearing and what works and what doesn't. And then usually it all comes all right in the end from doing that. The Silver Stag, what would you recommend as next step for an intermediate producer looking to understand details and advanced techniques? Well, yeah, Sonar works as a good suggestion, DJ Emo. These, and if that might be what you mean, Pilgrim, is that like the gear, and I use like these Neumann NDH20s, and they're pretty flat. Thanks, Operand. Oh yeah, I'm catching up here now, folks. Thank you. Okay, I just aren't sorry. Yeah, sorry for that tirade. I don't use SonarWorks, no, but I know a lot of people who rave about it, and have, if you're concerned that your headphones aren't doing that for you, or like whatever you're using, definitely something like that. I don't really see the point in using speakers because I just can't have them set up. I just can't have a pair of monitors set up. I'm probably not going to be in a position where I have a room where I can have a nice set of monitors in a bit that's got a bit of treatment and so forth. I don't see that happening for me anytime soon. So I would say that sorry, there was just some strange noise here. One sec, folks. Pultec's a good recommendation. Chat is firing off tonight. I'm struggling to keep up. DJ Emo, I think, answered your question, kind of. Silver Stag, about what the next steps are. Make music, finish tracks, take years to train your ears. Finishing songs is the main thing. You will clean up everything on the way. Wise words. So true. You just got to keep making tunes. Don't give up. I think is the main thing. A lot of people stop before it gets to the good bit, and the thing is because can be pretty demoralizing at points. And every producer experiences that, regardless of the level they're at or what they're achieving. Like, I saw something from Blawan, just talking about, I don't know, about the creative process recently and just how he'd been struggling, and he's just had like a really critically acclaimed, well-received, inventive release that everyone's been raving about. What more could you want than that? And still, the creative process can be a struggle. So it happens regardless of your level. It happens the whole way through. The one thing that is continuous and that you can guarantee is that you won't be sure about what you're doing. But the Pilgrims, back, how do I get a clean mix like yours? Well, that's very kind of you saying that, because, we're still pretty early doors with this tune. But I would say, if you can understand, everything feeds into how a tune sounds, including the key of the music, the drums you choose, how the genre itself, it all feeds in to how the tune comes out of the speakers or how you're hearing it. And really, there's no quick fix. I think it's many factors that you pick up along the way that help improve your tunes. I would say the quickest thing for making your mix sound better is to have less stuff in your tune. That's definitely an easy way for you to to improve the sound of tune, is kind of find the key elements and get rid of anything else, because chances are you probably don't need it. But so true, DJ Mo. Truth. Yeah, you got to know how to use your equipment too. You got to get comfortable with it. It's got to be like an extension of your creativity in a way, of your expression. Because it can be so easy for these things to get in the way, and you can spend. And I've been there, where I'm just like, how do you do this really simple thing? I cannot figure it out. Even though I might know how to do it on a guitar or something, I just can't figure out how to make it happen in Ableton, or I can't, I've been there, and I've got to the end of making tunes and been like, I just really don't know what I need to do with this tune next. Is it a mix thing? Is it because the tune? I remember, I'd experienced a horrible sinking feeling when I got to the end of a tune being written, and realizing actually it's just because the music's not any good that this isn't working. That's why the track's no good. DJ man, not far behind. I mean, the thing is, I would do this whatever, you know what I mean? Like I said when I was talking to Johnny, Mike Kiss, I mean. Yeah, I think Operan's right. It's I've not done anything to mix this tune, Pilgrim, so it's really does start from the music for me. I think in the world that we're all operating in, like Ableton, using computers, making electronic music, all that stuff. It's important to remember that all of this is just kind of a facade, and that really all the stuff we're looking at, and the MIDI and the spectrums and all of this, it's just a representation of something that is sound. It's not sound. The sound is what's And it can be very easy to just kind of get blinkered by the interface and forget that you're engaging emotionally with like sound, or that's what you're trying to do. And not to be worried about how many channels of sound you've got, or if I don't quite know where I'm going with this, but I think we can get so blocked by the interface that we forget it's music we're dealing with. It's auditory, it's not visual. Of course, there's all interesting kind of artistic concepts you could draw from that, but I think that's the main thing, is that come back to the music, come back to be a good producer, to be a good musician, music creator. You have to be good at listening, and really listening obviously is sound, and you can't see it. Taking a break's a good shout, Stubborn, too. If you're struggling, like Silver Stag, for instance, and I would say don't worry about struggling finishing stuff. That's just a natural part of the process. And it's fine to just let stuff go. Chances are that you weren't meant to finish it. You're meant to get it so far along, and it's meant to just be a kind of lesson in a way. I would say just keep going. Just keep going. Just don't stop. Eventually stuff gets finished. Like maybe this tune. So this is like blasting, isn't it? I've got all these plugins on. I wondered what was going on. So true. I think you can't. Yeah, you can never tell what's going to happen with any given piece of music you work on. You just got to go with the flow sometimes, and just when you come back to it, it's often very revealing what needs to be done, and also can be quite heartening because you realise that actually it wasn't as bad as you thought it was. In fact, you're probably chances are you're a pretty good producer. One thing I pick up a lot from like doing one-to-ones with people is that like often people are exactly where they need to be. They just kind of they've lost confidence, or they just need an external influence to say that they're on the right track. Silver Stag. Pleasure. It's only for like it's I've been there. Everything that people are saying, and sometimes you get producers or heads that are a bit more experienced, a bit further along the road, in here in the chat and wherever. But then you also there's loads of people who are at various different stages in their creative journeys. I think that term kind of sums it up adequately, but I think it's important to know that you're not alone and that everyone goes through this, and that it starts from the music. Everyone else follows from the music. DJ Emo, you are, you and everyone else, I think. I do the live jam thing a lot. And then just stick with that. But this would have started the same way. It would have started on the APC. I would have just jammed out this kind of basic arrangement for this thing, and it's over. I find the thing for me is like getting it on the timeline, and then you're like, okay, I've got 4 minutes of music. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to make a video about my Trello board soon. It's in the works. I've started scripting it, and I'll talk more about that. You might find that useful down the line, like the organisation side of things, because I think that's another really important part. Pilgrim, the bass isn't layered. We've just got a serum Reese, and this is from the Oblivion Sound Labs Time Shift Jungle Sounds pack, and it's a sick Reese. I've been using this on loads of stuff, and it's just really full. What I look for sometimes in these basses is that they've got a really nice continuous sine fundamental going on. And okay, this is where I sometimes geek out and stuff like this. And I guess this is mixing as you go, but okay, it's called Dark Reese. You see what's happening here? Like sometimes with Reeses, the way they're built, you know, like sine saw waves, kind of slightly out of tune, and you get that kind of dissonance that causes like the wobble, the slight wobble in Reese basses. What you find sometimes is like the fundamental of the note, where you're really experiencing the weight of the bass. It changes a lot as well. It modulates too much. If you look here, it's only really changing like a few dB. It's pretty continuous sine wave here, which is sometimes difficult with Reese basses. I mean, there is a sub sound here, but even so, when you introduce that, sometimes it still like interferes with the other components of the bass. But I really do like this. When you find a good sound like this, just use it all the time. It's totally fine. Ian. Silver Stag. I do have a Discord. I do. If it on Twitch, it should be in my like description. I don't use Twitch a whole lot myself, but I definitely do have a link to it there somewhere. If not, head over to YouTube and you'll find it on there. So I think, you know, there are a few different issues here. Mr. Groove's like the 8-bar loop thing. But then also DJ Emo about like committing to an arrangement, which I guess is the kind of two sides of the same coin. The Trello board definitely needs to be talked about, maybe within that kind of some strategies for developing tracks, what I do. Basically, at this point in the process, I try not to be too precious about it and just throw stuff at the wall. And usually it comes good, well, not usually. I'd say like 1 in 10 times it comes good, but that's the way I do it, and it works more than any other way. Right, let's just kind of arrange this a little bit now. We can't just go straight into the drums for now. I want to work in 8-bar drum patterns too, so let's just sort this out. So what we'll do is we'll just turn off this. that too. Nice sound, better sound. Yeah, it's just like one drum layer. Thanks, Ian. I was mad into the IGO devices the other day. I was kind of like resampling lots of stuff using take lanes and then snipping bits out and kind of making some really interesting textural stuff, and just generally getting my head around the devices a bit more as well, like Celestine and what's the other one that I'm really digging? No. It's the Celestine, and the other one is the resonant reverb one. Which one's that? Spectronaut, love those two together. Spectronaut and Celestine, God, awesome. I was just like, I really just wanted to stop make some like kind of more ambient stuff. Spectronaut, thanks. Yeah, I'm big fan of those two ones. I still need to check out like Palmwell and some of the other ones properly. DJ Emo, Anina plugin, what a bit like a spectral suppressor, like Soothe. I'm just making a note of that. Thank you. Pilgrims, yeah, I've just got a bit of reverb on some drums here. Probably just EQ'd as well, just on the whole drum thing. It's only on this drum channel. So we got some like. That's going to the sends only. need some more movement or something here for the beginning, but we'll come to that. We'll just look laying down structure here, you know. Mixing up the drum parts here. Stuff like I'm just kind of building the arrangement parts here, really. So I'm not really worried too much about like where everything's sitting for now. See if we can develop this a little bit. Oh yeah, we've got this, haven't we? Bring these drums in as well. I want to keep things really simple. Probably switch it up every 8 bars. It's really some sort of little drum fill here. Building up the velocity. What's this vocal doing? That's just like an init patch. Literally just a saw wave. That's kind of the tune, really, isn't it? It's the whole thing, really. Let's just copy this. Don't know about that synth. It's a lot here. I think I prefer just like this one thing. This. That's what I want, these Board to Canada things going on. Pedo, how are we doing? I feel like you probably still got like the post-chorus. do love Shimmer. Shimmer, my god, it's just the best. It's just so me. It really is, don't it? Yeah. kind of chorus, isn't it? You could do it even. We can work on these vocals another time. Never got this terrible.
I'll go to the zone. I think them parts never persist. Friend of a vote, don't give an ish. Let you buy big.
I don't think that's working, but.
I'll go to the zone. I think them parts never persist. Friend of a vote, don't give an ish. Let you buy big. We both think not had it. Have to pray. Straight to the end. Back.
This, I see what you're saying. This one. Or you reckon? So I think I'd just like put this in for to see if it fit.
I'll go to the zone. I I'll go to the zone.
I think we might DJ Emo. I think that's a good idea. I think we.
I'll go to.
I think it needs just a better vocal. Do you know what I mean? That's nice. Just send that to Shimmer. Pretty good. That's not bad, is it? Considering all the deep chat we had tonight as well. DJ Emo, what about nothing with the ARP? Kill all the rhythm. You reckon for the breakdown bit that could work? Just for this section. Just for next time, yeah? To be continued. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for checking that out. That was a track called Broken Light. We'll see if we can... That feels pretty good. That's kind of... I feel like I'm distilling the funk chill vibe down a bit more, and I'm definitely getting things... I mean, there's very few channels here, really. It's mostly drums and... some synth sounds, but that's what you want. Sometimes you just want something really chill and heavy and like with intricate drums and stuff just popping off, and you want something that you can kind of just like vibe out to the respace on. Cheers, Teedle, thanks. Tendency is to just overcook these tunes if you're not careful, and that because it is a simple thing, you know. A simple kind of beat and stuff, and it should be simple, and the idea is, I don't know, maybe you could get someone rapping over the top or some MC over the top. That would be pretty cool. Nice one, Teedle. Thanks for taking a break from work to catch up on this. Well, thanks everyone for checking in on a Tuesday. Really appreciate all of the chat and all of the really good topics of conversation covered today. I hope there's some useful stuff. Some really great questions from people, and exactly the kind of questions that I like to answer, or topics I like to talk about, really, and kind of the whole point of why I do this on YouTube. So thank you everyone who stuck their head above the parapet and chat puts in the chat and puts questions in the chat. Really appreciate you all asking such pertinent questions, and thank you for trusting me with my opinion and answers. DJ email will do. Casablanca. I'm keeping show notes now because I can write this stuff down. I can always check back on the VOD. Operan, nice one. I'll see you next week, folks, anyway. Wednesday next week. And yeah. I think I'll just play us out with this so that anyone that checks in, watches the VOD, can see how it unfolded. But I'll say goodnight, yeah? Teedle, there were some good questions. Some good topics. Hopefully I gave some alright answers. Felt like I did anyway. But alright, appreciate you all. To my patrons and supporters, thanks to my newest patrons and supporters and everyone who supports me on there. You can check all that stuff out in the description and everywhere else you're watching this. But I'll say goodnight now, folks, and I'll just play you out with this tune, which was called Broken Light. Thanks, DJ Mo. I'll see you next week, folks. Have a good rest of the week. Thanks for watching.